Live in the studio tonight, Spiritual Connect Radio, guys. We're here tonight with my man Kevin Puckett, man. He got the stylish hat on, matching shirt, man. See the Finale Sportswear he got there in front of him, man? I say clothing line. So tonight we're gonna talk about Kev stuff, but we also gonna talk about overcoming, man, and maximizing your potential. Our last two guests before we introduced themselves said something that was key to me, and they said how when their parents died when they were young, and and their grandparents raised them, and that was powerful, like, because a lot of people make excuses now. Yeah. I'm not saying people don't have issues, but I want to point that out. And then Justin asked a question a couple shows ago. He asked me a question, so I'm going to ask you that same question. What would your 12-year-old self say about you now? Like where you are now. When you were 12, that was the man that's been in my mind since he asked you that question. Like, yo, what would your 12-year-old self say to you now about where you are now? Because most of us never really thought we would be, you dream and you think about a lot of things. But it's a different thing, man. So let's open up as you always do, man. Hey, do you rise to the occasion, shrink to your circumstances? Tonight we rise. Introduce yourself, guys.
Devin Pender here. I missed last week, so I'm just happy to be back.
I know, no rain today, right? So, Chris Jr., I'm excited to be here and talk about Finale, and as well as our topic, overcoming, obstacles. I had quite a few of those myself in life, so, yeah.
I'm Kevin Puckett. I'm here to represent.
Come on, man. Use that Barry White voice, man. Now you and y'all.
I'm here to represent the Finale line and also be in a conversation with Chris and the rest of the family here.
Yeah, man. So Kevin and I go way back, man. I'm not gonna get into the years, man, but I laugh because I run into people who still call it Stokely Schoolyard. It's been Prince of Peace Church. The church built it, don't burn down, they rebuilt it, and folks still refer to it as Stokely Schoolyard. So that's a different conversation. But let's start off, man. So let's tell us about your gear, man.
All right, well, like I said, it's the Finale clothing line. Like I said, I knew Chris for years, and we was coming up. Our thing was sports and dressing nice. You know what I mean? You wanted to play sports, you wanted to look nice. And then, over time, it was like, you pay a lot of money for clothing that don't last. And, so being always in style, I always wanted to have, my own clothing line. So, I, went into selling hats and stuff like that. But then I met my partner, who's tied up at this time. So he had the same idea that I had. And we just started collaborating, and then once we started getting together, our whole thing was we wanted to sell a quality product for a quality price. So
I feel like sports and fashion still is a big thing today too. So I like this shirt a lot. Like I can't stop looking at it, man. When I see it, I'm like, man, I need one of those.
I'm about to say not much has changed,
Yeah.
Even today, people just want to play sports and dress nice.
Right. But like in terms of the quality though too, and like a fair price, like that's something that sometimes people get caught up in like thinking that something just because it costs a lot, it's the best quality, but that's not necessarily the case all the time.
Well, my thing about it is, when you buy stuff, you can spend a lot of money for something, but you gotta be careful how you wash it. Yeah, after so many times it starts to, the collar may start to stretch.
Or it don't even look nice.
Yeah, it loses. Look like it's gonna pay for it.
And you don't pay $98, $100, it's like, I don't want to pay $100 for
a T-shirt
that you gotta be careful when you wear it, because I wear it too many times.
Exactly. I'm like, but and then like you said, the quality of it, it's not good at all. So that was, both of our main factors. Like, we wanted something that we know we'll wear, because like I said, I'm older than him, so he has one Janya, I have another one, and then we just mesh it together, and it's coming along good, and then the support from family and friends, that's always important.
And I like hearing that you have kind of a different age group with your partner.
Exactly.
And kind of, I can see it working between us, because I've seen him wearing a couple of things, and I'm like, yo, I like that. Like, this is not something he generally, I feel like he would wear, but like, it does kind of transition across certain age groups here.
but it's a reason behind why it's funny. It's a reason why I bought it and why I wear it. And my wife was teasing me about it. Mom was teasing me about it. Like, yo, that's outside your comfort zone. But to me, it represents more where we came from.
Exactly.
It's like I think about the folk who didn't make it out. And it wasn't that we were smart or whether we were better athletes, it just made some bad choices. And so when I saw it, I was like, yo, this is us. And it does. I don't know if you did like that on purpose, but it like represents where we came from, man. I mean, it was, because we played that way. We played hard. We played simple. Wasn't nothing fancy about it. We got people phases. We did what we had to do.
Right.
And when I was like, yo, this, so when I saw it, I was like, yo, this is stuff. Yeah.
It's basic, but it's stylish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, as I said, then he from Southwest, I'm from North. So you're looking at the different age and exactly. You know what I mean? So and the thing about it, it's a good thing because our ideas don't clash.
Okay.
You know, so and that's what makes our partnership, you know, really work because he'll have an idea and I'll have an idea. We won't say, oh no, I don't like that idea. It'll be like, all right, well, how can we mold both the ideas together? All right, if we can't work, then all right, let's do this. And then we see how that works. If not, then we'll come out with this. So it works, man.
And it seems like a good, you know, partnership relationship that you guys had.
Right.
You know?
And then you know he got the sauces, so I control most of the clothes.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
It's some spicy you niggas don't like spicy stuff, but it's pretty good.
Yeah,
It's pretty good.
He has a lot of.
A nice little kick to it. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
But for me, another thing that I was impressed about is because I know I go back to when I first got in corporate America. And I would be in these boardrooms and these conversations and all these people, and, you know, and they would be just talking about the hood. And I would be sitting there not saying a word, and then finally somebody would say, oh, well, Chris, where you from? And then I say, oh, I'm from that hood. And then it would get so quiet. And then they would be like, well, why are you different? And I was like, who else do you know from my neighborhood? What am I different from? But that whole concept of anything coming out of North Philadelphia, you know, and it's still prevalent today. I still have those conversations today. So to me, I was excited to say that, you know, and there's a bunch of us doing successful things, but I was like, yo, Kev got his own clothing line, you know, that's really doing it, you know, and then even talking about your partnership, because, you know, black folk ain't supposed to be the work together.
Right.
Especially black males. We ain't, you know, alpha males, we ain't supposed, you know, we supposed to be fighting, you know.
Right. You know, watching the money.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, man, where you going? You too close to the safe, back up.
Or just like the ego, like, oh, this is my idea, like versus you know, having that collaboration and coming together to build something greater than just your ideas.
What's I want to ask, what's some early obstacles or challenges you had while getting started with this clothing line?
First of all, it's always an obstacle as far as finding people who want to do it the way you want it done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's, you know, you could draw it out to the T, you know, but when you get it back, you know, it's like, no.
That's not what I asked for.
You didn't pay attention to that detail, man. Like, you know, I wanted the F this size, not this size. I wanted it over here, not over, you know. So, that was an obstacle. And another thing is at first getting people to believe in the product. You know what I mean? Because they'll pay $98 for a polo shirt. But if I tell you, okay, I got this T-shirt right here for $25, man, like
trying to get a deal.
Yo,
hook a brother up.
You know,
15.
You know, so and to the day, that's still an obstacle. You know, you still have, especially when you go into, you know, meeting new people and having your product out there, because like we do pop-up shops. You know, we'll go to them. You know, we straight from our vehicles right now, so it's, you know, hand in hand. You know, we go to the softball games, and you still get those same people. Oh, this is too high. Oh, what if I get this and this? It's like, and I be wanting to say so bad, but you know, I still have to stay in business mode. But I be wanting to say so bad, like, do you say that to Louis Vuitton?
No.
You know what I mean? Do you say that to, you know, do you say that to, with Armour, what's the,
Under Armour.
Under Armour, you know what I mean?
But it's across all fields, because I go through the same thing. You know, I'll be somewhere and they'll pay somebody, no questions asked, and they're not that good. You know, there was my time they want to cut a deal.
All the time.
You know, like, wait a minute. You know, but my father taught me something, and this is what I tell him. I got two bad habits: eating and living indoors. They both cost money. That's what I tell you. Know, I gotta support them two habits. But I think that's just the nature of our people, especially we know we always want to cut a deal. But what I think they don't realize is that they cut into your pockets when they cut a deal because you still got to pay to get it produced. You still got, you got to pay for that stuff. Right. Like I tell people, my time is valuable.
Right. Yeah. And see, if I go up on the price, they gonna stop buying.
Yeah.
But see, if Gucci, Louis Vuitton, they go up on the price, they're not gonna stop.
They standing in line.
Right. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but it's because it's not that support there. I mean, it's starting to come around now. We really are starting to get into supporting each other slowly. You know what I mean? And this, like I said, this was a good time to do it. I was retired. That he was retired, and we both had the same dream. It was like, all right, like this just happened. And how you meet, and it's like, okay, this is the time.
Time is everything.
Right. You meet somebody, it's like, okay, everything fall into place. Like, all right, this is the time to do this.
So my question, like, when I say this, people always look at me like I got 5 eyes when I say this. Especially people, in the upper echelon of management, we'll be sitting around the table and they say, well, where do you learn your skills at? And I tell them, going up in North Philly. And they say, what do you mean? I say, the only difference is y'all use bigger words and y'all dress better. It's the same stuff I went through in the schoolyard. You gotta know who to look out for. Who lying to you, who you can trust. It's the same stuff.
Who's the thief?
Who's smiling on your face? Kevin.
Exactly.
So everybody gets upset when I say that, but it's the same exact principles, the same.
Regardless of where you at.
Exactly.
So how do those skills help you? How do you think those skills that we grew up in, any of them, kind of help you get to where you are now?
Like you said, I mean, some stuff, from growing up, you see stuff coming. You know what I mean? So as soon as I sit down, or me and Dak, we sit down with somebody and we present them with this and that, and we start hearing certain things, it's like we just look at each other and be like,
here we go.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, all right, we'll get back to it. I mean, because it's so funny, like, we'll come to somebody to do the boiler. They'll want to charge us. Now, we never seen your work besides online.
Right, yeah.
So they'll want to charge us $100 to do a sample shirt. Okay, now if you mess it up, I'm stuck with a shirt.
Yeah, because I don't even necessarily want
Right, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's the crazy, it's like, that's the crazy part about it. It's like,
well, because what I've learned is that a lot of people don't understand business. They think because you have a business, you have a lot of money.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of access money.
Exactly.
And I go back when I had my cleaning company. People were stealing from me. This one chick, man, let me tell you, she had a room, her own closet on my stuff.
That's insane.
She had a whole closet on my stuff. And then when I busted her, well, you can afford it. What do you mean I can afford it? I'm paying you using my supplies, getting paid by somebody else. I'm getting ripped off everywhere you can imagine.
That's actually an interesting thought, really, because it is kind of this assumption out here, like when people think you have a business, they just think, oh man, you got a lot of money. Oh, your price is that, he trying to get over on me, right? Like,
I've been there. I was doing the, also the, what's the phone books.
Oh, yeah.
I was doing the phone books, working with somebody. All they was doing it from little Jeeps.
Yeah.
They was doing it from the Jeeps. So we hooked up. Next thing you know, we had 3 trucks, 6 employees with shirts and everything. Finally got our big paycheck, like $13,000 for a job. Ask me where that money at. I'm still looking for it. Them two left the trucks in Virginia Beach. You know what I mean? It's like,
that's crazy.
And like, okay, you know, don't worry about it. You cool. I needed this. Like, oh wow.
That's wild. I mean, it's like.
But it's perspective, because in reality, 13,000 is not a lot.
It's not.
And I try to explain that to people. $13,000 is not a lot of money. Like I would have these big contracts, but I gotta pay people. Yeah, I gotta pay taxes. I gotta buy supplies.
Exactly.
The people supplying materials don't want to hear what a great guy I am. I'm glad you're doing it, but pay me. And I think because we don't have a business mindset, we think it's okay to rip each other off. But it's funny because, like you said, they won't do it to somebody else.
No.
So how do you adjust to that? Because for me, I'm better now because I'm older, but it took me a while to not get into that whole gorilla thing because you do.
Yeah,
when you see someone, come on, man, I was born at night, but not last night.
Exactly. Well, I mean, when you have the business in mind, or you you know, start getting to business. Like you said, you know, you have to adjust to it. You know, you have to keep everything on a business sense. You know, even though you know you might want to jump over the table, you know, you have to just keep everything like, okay, because your whole objective after that is, all right, let me get out this room. You ain't gotta, and you know, you ain't gotta worry about me. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you just have to keep in mind, what are you trying to build? You know, is this person worth me losing what I'm trying to build? No.
Yeah, but see, that's cool because for those who are listening, that's transferable to anything you're gonna be successful in life.
Yes.
And I found myself trying to explain it to young people. You know, like, you want to do this now because you want to impress your friends who you won't see in 10 years from now.
Exactly.
But this is going to follow you the rest of your life. And I think, one thing I think that we did have in common, and I want to go back to it, is, you know, growing up in a big family, you learn certain skills. Mm-hmm. Especially when you got big brothers. Right. You learn some skills. I know your brothers. We ain't even talking about it.
I know the big brothers,
about two of them.
What's my man? It's certain skills I haven't heard.
Yeah. So,
I'm real fine.
Yeah. So how did that play into, you know, into who you are and what you do?
Man, basically, like I said, growing up, where we came from, one thing that we had that was not going to be tolerated: disrespect. You know, that was the bomb. So the thing is, I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna respect you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But you're gonna give me the same respect back. Right. Whether we agree, whether we raise our voices or whatever, you know, we're gonna still keep it respectful. Exactly. You know what I mean? So as long as there's no disrespect, you know, I mean.
That's challenging today.
Like I was just thinking that.
He said respectful, like people, it's a weird mentality today. I feel like sometimes they feel like you almost have to earn their respect, you know? Like versus kind of, I feel like I was raised somewhat old school. Like I'm always gonna give out that respect to them, and it's on you to lose it, you know?
Exactly.
What I mean?
Exactly.
But we had guys who, and I say this all the time, I learned so much from little, because to know you can knock everybody out and don't start fights and take stuff and have people and give people room to walk away. I mean, people, when I talk about him, people just don't believe me. But I just remember so many times when he gave people like, yo, go ahead, you know, and we all know the end result, you know. But I never saw him start a fight, and I always saw him take as much as he could take, and I learned so much from that because. Somebody else. It's like having a superpower, and you know nobody else have it, and you use it and go, yo, I can just.
Right.
You just
yeah. And I did from all of them. I learned so much from them, and you know, growing up in that schoolyard, man, because you from Cave and all of them, we learned from them.
Exactly. Because they were so different. They was like us.
Yeah.
You know, they were so different, but they were so much the same. You know, because of where we grew up and we was all close. Like you can go right over the bed instead of, you know, somebody else. Yeah. Like, hey, what's up, man? You know, and it was like a family. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's how we was taught. You know, you was going to give respect. Yeah. You know what I mean? You know, you was going to get it, but one thing, you couldn't go around disrespecting nobody. And that's what we build everything on. You know, respect.
So I had a question, like, do you have maybe a personal experience that you feel like you had to overcome that helped to get you to the point you are in your life today, or even maybe something with the business itself starting out that, you know, a challenge that you felt like you overcame that kind of put you in a position to move forward and grow and be successful?
I thought you want me to go back. I mean, really, with me, it was like, I didn't say losing my mind, and then, you know, having the family go sideways, because everything I did, you know, through growing up was always based on family. Mm-hmm. You know, I did it for my family. You know, I did a little trouble, but I didn't want to get in trouble because it was like, okay, I did it. So when the matriarch, my mom passed, you know how people parents pass, siblings start arguing, going left. You know, that right there kind of put me, you know, in a bad place, and I ended up leaving. you know, I went to Atlanta. And then, you know, in Atlanta is when I was, you know, kind of get back into doing a little, you know, selling. I had this little, it wasn't the quality, but it was just something for me to do while I was out there, you know, selling like little shirts, you know, like pump up the volume and had the equalizers, and, you know, little stuff like that. And then, you know, then moving back up here, you know, the desire was there, but it wasn't the same, you know. And then when I, like I said, you know, when I met that clicked, and then that just, you know, lit the fire in the both of us at the same time, and, you know, here we go.
It's like almost consistent with our past two guests, man. Like you said, where it's that challenge of losing a close one or a loved one, and kind of still having the strength to move forward and, you know, pick things up and continue along.
Because I think we in a time now, even when we were growing up, the people just, they got excuses and they ran with it. You know, and none of us lived a perfect life. But I think the one thing I liked about growing up in that schoolyard was excuses weren't tolerated. You know, it you know, nobody wanted to hear it. You know, either you bought your A game when you went home.
Or you went home.
You know, they don't, you know,
Exactly.
if you BC, don't show up.
Oh,
And I think that tenacity that we had in there in every sport we did kind of morphed into some people's lifestyles.
And the basketball court was only about the size of this table, so
You could shoot from basket to basket. You could shoot from basket. You're right. You get the rebound, turn on fire.
So we had to play man.
Yeah.
Because somebody could pull up from half court. Half court was like shooting from the top of the key.
Yeah.
So we had to be aggressive. We had to play that man, you know, like, okay, you're not gonna push me around, you know.
Man.
I was raised on some of that.
So y'all handle 3-point line? Is that what
No
you're trying to
3-point
say?
line.
But I think that's where I think, and I say this to people, where your character and resilience come from. When you run into stuff and stuff just don't go the way you want it to go, I know I think back to those days. I think back, man, to those days playing out there in that Carmichael Memorial League. I think back to all that stuff in there, man, and it just, you know, and to go through all that, you know, because, you know, playing the park, we were the only one that probably didn't have an All-American. Everybody else had, everybody that was, remember Gary Devlin was playing semi-pro basketball, everybody had you know, so those challenges to me.
We was the youngest when I was 15.
Yeah, we were young,
you know,
man.
Like, we playing in the adult league.
But it prepared me for when I decided to do stuff, entrepreneurship, do business, because, you know, I say this all the time. I've been told no by so many people, no, don't bother me anymore.
There's
You
no
know,
room for
yeah.
fraud. You know what I mean? Right.
And people get mad. Yo, I've been kicked out of better places than this. I used to say that all the
Oh,
time.
so you used to say that back then?
Yo, I've been kicked out of better places than this.
Yeah.
People get upset, but I had. I'm
Right.
like, yo, this ain't.
It's funny, he just confirmed that.
I
said that since he was young, man.
Like, yo, but
Yeah.
I think, but it gives you that attitude. When it gives you that attitude, man, you can't help but succeed, because most people, when they hear no, they quit. And Mike Jones and I think, what's the guy from last week? Rochester.
Was that the comedian?
Greg.
Yeah, they
Mike
both.
was a comedian.
They both said that, and it really stuck with me. And it was like, yo, you know, when Mike was talking about how he decided to be a comedian, nobody believed in him, and what he had to go through, and what he still goes through with himself, how he fights self-doubt because of what people say. And then Greg was saying something similar last year when he had to do reality, he wasn't going to the NFL.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell me he wasn't going to the NFL. And I see so many people stumble and fall who don't make it because of that. You know, and they'll tell you 20 years ago, 15 years ago. You know, you're 40 years old, told me something happened, you were 10 years old, and that's why you're not doing what you're supposed to do today. I hear that so often. I'm not making fun of people, but I hear that all the time. So when I see you, you know, how far you come, you know, I always think back to how we came from the schoolyard. And none of us had a whole lot. We were in the same neighborhood. You know, we had great parents who made sure we didn't want.
Exactly.
Well, we didn't have over-the-top stuff, man, and, you know, that was our arena. We shoved the court to play,
and it wasn't given to us.
Yeah, we
know,
had chores and everything else.
You know, right. You know, nothing was given to us, so we had to earn everything that we got. So that right there instilled that into us as well. It's like, okay, you know, I don't want you to give me nothing. Because, you know, one, I ain't gonna appreciate it. Two, I would be old. You know, I know I wanna,
but
you know.
But it wasn't everything we did.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, we just didn't walk on the court and start playing. We had to earn it.
We had to earn, yeah.
You
We
know.
got kicked off.
Yeah, we got, yo,
they
they
take our ball,
decided
they
to
play
y'all gotta
the
go.
game.
Yeah, we, you know, what's the score? This game over.
Now, would you say that's where your entrepreneur mindset came from?
from
our neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because that was our thing. Ball, fashion. You know what I mean? That was, we may not have like the top dollar clothes, but we had, you know, nice clothes. We dressed nice. We had new sneaks, you know. So
it sounds like you just always had the hustler's mindset, like, yo, I'm gonna.
But we did
build something and sell something.
We would chip our money together, get cheesesteaks, whatever, because so everybody had. It wasn't like now I see people doing it. Four people eating, one person be sitting there watching. We did. We always had the mentality. You know, I remember Spook, Donald, and you know, and I'm not recommending this for you watching and listening. Spook would take $5. We would chip in. He would go in the alley, shoot crap, come back out with like $30. And we all eat. We did. We would go on, so we would chip in. And I think for me, that's why I got that hunger and thirst to succeed, man. Because, you know, when you get a taste of that, even though it's not bad, you want more.
Right.
And you want it to be on a regular basis. You know, and those are things that I picked up. Like, look, man, you know, I love my neighbor. I say it all the time. You know, but the character resilience, I wouldn't trade for anything. But I also knew it was so much more.
It was, right.
It was so much more, man. And some of it was because we went different places to play ball, different things. But just even those conversations with Cade on the corner at night, some of the stuff he would say, which was funny because Cade was the hood. He was the hood.
Exactly.
But some of the stuff Ludo would say to us, you know, Bus cracks me up, man. You know, but they would say stuff that was actually nuggets. You know, when you think about it now, the stuff they would say to us to keep us out of trouble, maybe in the form of a joke or something, but they would just give us these skill set, you know, and I think back to a lot of stuff I do and I laugh because I think about that.
You're like, wow, yeah, that's what that's what he meant.
Yeah, like, yo, like, you know, like, you talking about respect, and I had left because that's the first thing when we were talking at the funeral, you know, and Lil walked up and everybody was like, hey. So Mike Frankie was like, yeah, man, you know, they still give you respect. He said, man, once you earn respect, you earn respect always. They better give my respect. I earn my respect. I'm like, dude, you got a cane, man. You can't hit anybody anymore.
Don't let me touch you with one hand, right? But like I said, again, we back to that. That's that respect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But the next breath, he said, man, it's always glad to see you. So it's just funny how that camaraderie relationship, because another thing I learned out there was the importance of teamwork.
Right.
You know, and one thing I learned, I think, separated me from people I met after that, even to be successful when I'm going out, was the ability to separate my emotions from business. You know,
that's almost like a challenge.
And people can't do it. You know? And people like, man, you know, you forgive them. I forgive, but I forget.
Yeah.
That line is there, I understand, but it's business.
I mean, how do you do with that? Though? You know, like, do you just like, is that something you practice doing, like removing your emotions from being able to deal with business?
For me,
like,
and I want you to comment for me, because we would be in that schoolyard and we would come to blows in the game. Because I think whether we are equally we hated to lose.
That's what I mean.
Nobody wanted to lose. No, but we would be in that schoolyard, almost come to blows. But man, we go get a steak or something. We all sitting on the step talking, laughing. It's over.
It's over.
When you know, but between those lines, you know, football, whatever we did, man,
he not my friend.
Yeah, we
on opposite sides.
We boys, but guess what? I'm getting bragging rights out this game.
Right, exactly.
I'm winning, and from that I learned that when it was over, it was over. You know, and I carried in the business because I gotta win. So if Kev open or if he the hot man, forget the argument. He getting the ball. I'm trying to win. I'm not gonna just freeze him out now because I'm mad at Kevin and we losing by 30. No. So I think that helped me when I went into corporate America, do other things, learn to say, okay, I gotta separate the emotion because winning is about winning. It's not about excuses, man. It's about winning. You know, so you have to learn to sit down and say, okay, let me separate the two.
And it's, what are you willing to take to get to where you're trying to, get to? You know, see, that's where it is. Like some people like, oh, they not gonna talk to me like that. No, I don't gotta deal with. No, all right, go ahead. I'm gonna let you say it. But if the numbers is right and we can do this business, we're gonna do this business. Then we gonna have that man-to-man talk.
and that,
you know what I'm saying?
I understand.
I think back to that team we had. I think in any given night, anybody could have put up 20.
Yeah.
Any given night, anyone on that team, could have put up 20 points. At the blink of an eye. But it wasn't like that. Jeff was the guy. We fed. Everybody did their role.
They did it.
Everybody played their role. There was games when I walked out with 5 points. And Jeff had 45 points. But nobody complained because we won. And I think I was able to carry that over. Because when it was my time, it was my time. You know, and I think that helps me a lot. And I think, so how does that fit in with you? Because I've drawn a lot of stuff I got out the hood, man, to this day.
Well, I mean, like I said, I was just talking about meeting Dak. It was like, all right, this is my time.
Yeah.
You know, the same thing as far. I mean, everything that I take through life, like I said, always reflect back to where we grew up at. You know, because we met a lot of people, but it was different people, but it was in the same neighborhood. I mean, we was all the same color, but it was like the way this person act, the way this person lived, they could live right next to you, but you could be doing better, but they can have the best attitude and enjoy life, and you'd be like,
and why?
You know, so it's you have to take that into any kind of life period, but into business as well. You know, you have to look at it from a bright side. You know, because the bottom line is you either going to do business or you're not. That's going to be the result. So you have to look at it from the bright side. Okay, what's my pros with this? You know, it can't be all about the money, because the money is there, but you're dealing with somebody that's, a complete, is the money worth it? You know, all money is not good money. You know, see, some people, they'll look at it, check, oh, okay, well, or you buying this, that, and that, but then it's like that aggravation you gotta go with, is it worth it?
Yeah.
You know, so.
I mean, not all business is good business, you know?
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, it's funny I say it all the time, because I think as minorities we get into that, and I know when I try to do business with minorities, they want to jack the price up. I'm like, dude, I don't want to bargain, I don't want a discount. If you give me a fair price, I can refund you. But if you rip me off, we're not doing business. But so that's the mentality. I'm glad you brought it up, because our mentality is, I'm gonna get my money now. I'm gonna get all this money now, but how much money you leave on the table?
Right, exactly.
So I think that's an excellent point that you brought up, and I try to tell people that.
And how much money is worth the aggravation? You know what I mean? Like, you can have a bunch of money, but if you constantly aggravated, and stressed, how you enjoy the money?
Right.
You're not even enjoying what you're doing.
And you know what I'm about to say. Man, once you seen the check for like 10 grand, there's no wow factor anymore.
Right.
You're like, it's not a wow factor anymore. You deposit it. Now I'm trying to get, how can I get another zero? You can do. So that's why I'm laughing at people. Oh man, I'm thinking to myself like, look, my wife can spend 10 grand in the mall.
I can do that.
I'm just saying, there's no doubt about that. So when you see it, but people get 10 grand, I'm thinking like, but
I'm stopping by this weekend.
But the flip side of the 10 grand is, and when you start getting down to expenses, it don't last long.
But see, people think that, and that's how, like I said, we're not business minded, but we're short minded. See, they see that as right here, right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I will never see 10 grand again. You know what I mean? Our mindset is different. It's like, okay, that's 10 grand, all right, so I want to see 20.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
How can I get this 10 to this 20? It's like, we're not, oh no, that's 10 grand. I might not.
And I wanted to be consistent.
And has that always been your guys' mindset like that, Just
but to me it was like everything else. It was like
a learned thing.
It was, I think it was a community thing, because to me I take it back to growing up in Stokely Schoolyard, because in order to play you had to earn it. You didn't walk in there and people say, if I don't know you, I don't care what kind of rep you got to earn this. And that's how it was. So you take that into life. And then also the thing was, you were never good enough. Because everybody was consistently getting better. And I remember when I went off to college, I was like, they was like, man, you fast. I'm like the 10th fastest guy, with Vincent Scott and Mike Franklin, guys breaking records down at the Penn Relay, and I was like, what?
That's because you was playing baseball though too.
No, but I'm just saying, but even in basketball, we had guys who were setting records at the Penn Relay. Mike Franklin, Vincent Scott, and Roger Dixon, those guys was breaking records down at the Penn Relay every year. They were smashing records. We
had soccer players.
Yeah, we had All Americans. So when you play, you don't think about it. You play against them, and you play with a mentality like, okay, I have nothing to lose because they're supposed to beat us.
Right. But it's not going to be easy.
Right. So and then you take that into business. You take it. I was able to take that and say, that's the key to being successful. When you walk into that room, no, you're not going to beat me.
Right. I'm the best.
I'm gonna outwork you.
Right.
You may be better, but I'm gonna outwork you.
Right, exactly.
And I think, and that's one thing I've been able to do, and I hopefully I pass on to them. But I think that's one of the keys to me being able to do what I do is, I may not be the most polished speaker, I may not be, but you're not gonna outwork me. I'm gonna know what I'm talking about when I come up there, man.
Exactly.
I'm gonna hone my skills. I'm gonna know how to make this work. And I think, that's another reason why I don't have a partner.
If nothing else, I'm gonna be prepared.
That's why I don't have a partner, because I can't find people. People want to get paid. They don't want to put the work in. They just want to show up and get a check. They don't want to put the work in the skill set, like how you polishing your skills. But that all came back because, if you didn't get better in the school, you got left behind. Whether it was football, whether it was baseball, whether it was basketball, you got left behind.
The only way you was getting out there if they needed that one man.
And I remember the dude you didn't want to be the dude that it was 9 guys out there and you were 10th and you were looking for somebody else to come.
Right, it was we.
Can we start over?
It's never me.
No. But I think that was one thing about North Philly that people didn't appreciate. They just heard about the violence and the bad stuff, and they used to call it the dark side and all this crazy stuff going on. But that was the one side that they never got, the skill set that we learned. And my business principles came from down there. One, we talked about it. You respect, and to people show you reason not to respect them, you respect who you working with your business partner. All that got to be earned, whatever, you come in the door with that. Because most of the time you get back what you give.
Exactly.
The second thing is, man, you gotta prepare for tomorrow. You can't be sitting here talking about, man, because tomorrow coming. You learned that, man, how you stressing your laurels, man. And I say this all the time. That dude that you were crushing is working on his game. And you see him 6 months from now, he crushed you now.
Right, exactly.
And we always had that mentality, man, because we just wanted to win. We wanted to be the best. And I think those things were key. And I think the third thing that I learned was tenacity, man. I think growing up, you have a poker face. When you grow up in the hood, you get a poker face. Because there's times, man, where, you get crappers because you know what you up against.
Right.
But you can't show it. You can't show it.
You can't show no signs of weakness.
Nah, man. So you learn, and that helps you in business because when you go in the room, man, you can be nervous, but you just, you take that deep breath, man, like, yo, I got this. I think those things were so key to me. And the fourth thing I talked about was the ability to work with different people.
Yeah.
You gotta have it, man.
Yeah, that's important.
You gotta be able to switch them hats, man, and turn around, man, and respect differences. So what's next for Finale Clothing Line, man? You know what I mean?
Man, now
we get to the Stokey studio right there.
Okay, well, yeah, we got a new sweatsuit coming out. With the
I'm not gonna lie, I'm excited about sweatsuit
it's
season.
It's
hoodies, all that.
Is that what you had right there?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Well, this is just some of the stuff that we had. Some of the
show them up there, man. You live.
Oh, some of the fall stuff coming out finale. For y'all Eagles colors.
I was gonna say, what you got there for? Because we know you're a
season
guy.
tomorrow.
Yeah, I think we know something out there for opening season, and then like I said, this is just one of our latest T-shirts that came out, which was finale.
I really like the colors, man. It's not like just basic.
That's what attracted me. That's what attracted me to the show.
Just another sweatsuit, just a basic.
And I don't know who picked
who
picked the color combination, but the reason why I like those shorts is because they were different colors, but they weren't bright neon.
Yeah, it's like you can't see me.
And they fit nicely because it wasn't like fluorescent and one was like boom.
Well, now on this one right here, I
like the fruit loops.
Now on this one right here, my man Dak came up with this. He surprised me. He surprised me with this. You know what I mean?
Like so, it's funny is because I'm not necessarily a sneakerhead, but I pay attention and having those colors, they go with a lot of different sneakers.
I gotta get you your shirt. I love
people wear.
Man. I got one for you too, man.
But that's I feel like one thing I really like too, because some people starting out with clothing brands and it's you see these basic things.
What I
it really stands out to me. And it's fashionable. Yeah.
What I really liked about it is because it's different. Most people start out mimicking somebody else.
Right.
They'll take something and just change the emblem or change. Most people do start out, and that's what I like about it. I was like, yo, this is original.
See, again, that's where his thoughts and my thoughts, we come together and collaborate because we just be throwing, colors out at each other. What you think about this? What you think about this? So, we came up, the sweatsuits just coming out with both of us had the same thing in mind with the colors when we was thinking about the Detroit Lions colors with the silver.
Right.
So,
how'd you come up with the Detroit Lions?
I mean, they just nice colors.
Yeah,
I'm just saying,
I like it.
because basically that was the only way that we could describe it to each other as far as the color. You know what I mean?
No, I'm just curious. I never heard anybody say that. You know.
You know,
like, have you
so
thought into getting into like jackets or like other things? Because bomber
Job
jackets or something like that. Yeah, like,
matter of fact, we also coming out with another sweatsuit, which is like the flight sweatsuits we had, you know, back in the day. You know, so we haven't decided. We came up with 2 colors, so we're still working on what colors we're going to release first. Jackets, we have a couple of jackets. I think right now we have 2 jackets. I got to check to see what size it is. You know, so because we come out, you know, with a little promo stuff like I left the hoodie. Like we got hoodies. You know, so we
gotta get some giveaways on it.
Right, yeah.
Get some giveaways.
I was about to say, where else can people find? I know you sell stuff person to person. Do you have a website, Instagram, anything?
Well, you can go to the Instagram. It's $finale _clothing. You know, look for the F.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
I'm finding that immediately.
They can go on there. You know, it's a phone number. They can call. You know, place. You know, say if they see something they want, or you know, most of the time, like a lot of times, we'll post on there.
Yeah.
You know, what's basically new as you go down, you'll see the changes. So,
you know, I wear.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm definitely going to be on that page searching.
Like I said, if you want to Philadelphia area, all you got to do it, you know, just call. You know.
I'll be wearing my stuff playing golf, man. I'll be taking up golf, man.
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, we're working on some what we call them rugby shirts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we're working on those also. You know, starting to get into the fall and winter stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm really excited about.
But it's cool that you're thinking that far outside the box, because most people, when they come out with stuff, they stick with it. It's 45 below outside, they trying to sell you a t-shirt. No, I'm just being honest. They never adjust. They never
gotta come back around, right?
Yeah, but a t-shirt, I'm not paying top dollar for a t-shirt in the wintertime. It's just not on my mind.
Right,
my mind frame is not there. You know, but now with summertime it's different. But like Chris said, like I'm already in mindset because it's cold in the morning.
Right.
You know, like hoodies. You know, what kind of hoodies? The long sleeve stuff. You know,
sweatpants. You know.
You know, that's why I'm at, like on the weekends, man. That's, you know, I pair of jeans, I throw a nice hoodie or something. That's me. Pair of sneakers.
That's why I bought the sweatsuits up.
Well, you know, I've been doing that forever. That's been mine more forever.
I really like that sweatshirt a lot. That
green one. The green one. You're not even an Eagles fan, so you shouldn't be.
I just like not the colors, obviously. I just like the pattern and everything like that.
The design.
If you could make like some Patriots or some Phoenix Suns colors, I would like that a lot.
Do y'all do you do that? Do you take requests or is it all like made to order? Like, how do you do that?
All right. And this may sound a little bad for business, but I mean on the real.
You mean I had to tell us?
I'm gonna say not really, only because when you start just like I was saying, you start taking an order. Somebody wants something, be like, all right, give me that, and then you know they want to charge you for the promo or whatever, and then you know you won't show up. Now I'm stuck with something that I may not get rid of. Now, if you wanted to order 5 shirts, then okay, you know, you want to order 5 or more, then okay, that's an order I'll put in, you know what I mean? But it has to be, you know.
Can we do like an above average black man collab and put in an order? I think, you know, why not?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Gary Sharpman voiced something.
No, I've been trying to get with Gary, man.
Because I had it. They hit me up when I was on vacation. Remember, I took the picture of vacation. I was like, yo, because Rodney, you know, was like, yo, I didn't realize Rodney's name was Freddie. I never called him Freddie. So I was like, who's this Freddie guy? He hit me up. You know, so yeah, but they were like, yeah, where did you get the stuff from? So I was like, oh, I got it from Cal. They was like, really? I was like, yeah, who can I gave you stuff? I said, call Cal.
I called Gary Sharp back. When I called him, he was in the middle of something. He said he gonna, you know, call me back.
He stayed
yeah, because you know, I think he does comedy.
His son does.
His son.
Yeah,
so
I meant to ask you that. His son does.
I definitely want to hook up with him. You know what I mean? And come to one of the shows.
Yeah, his son does.
And Rodney, he's supposed to be coming or want me to come in and bring him, some stuff.
He's in North Carolina. Where's he?
No, he's at Virginia Beach.
Virginia Beach.
So he's supposed to be coming up, and grab some stuff. So I told him by the time he come up, the winter line will be up, or. So and then but I was in the because Fred also was acting about the shirts. Yeah. And then I seen him in the supermarket. Yeah. And I'm walking, pushing the cart, and I hear somebody say, "Well, where's my shirt?"
Yeah.
So I turned around. So it's him.
Yeah.
But he said he was going to get one. So I told him I was going to call him the next time I came in Philly. So, but I didn't. I'm gonna call him when I leave here because I'll be going back.
Let us know, man. I don't be distributing, man. But I think it's a great cause, man. I think it's cool. It's really cool where we came from, and that's kind of I wanted to talk about it because I think so many times we use where we come from as a crutch.
Yes.
And I hear people like, wait a minute, I grew up 2 blocks from you.
Right.
And I'm like, wait a minute. What are you talking about? Yeah,
We had the same 24 hours.
Yeah, the same amount of time. And I think, it's funny because, Chris, I don't know if you remember, we were talking about, I don't know how we got the subject of letter F. I was like, yeah, remember the letter F? And I think it was you.
What were we talking about? Like the good things that.
All those positive things that start with F. Except when you're in school, they say you failing, you flunking.
Right, exactly.
But in life, with so many things that
start
start
with F on the report card.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Yeah. Because I was like, yeah, and then they were talking about all the good things that start with F. So I just think it's so cool, man, to be a part of this. I do. That's why I couldn't, thinking back on it, probably wasn't politically correct about stuff at a funeral.
This finale.
They were in the corner, and the truck in the car, and something like, somebody come back and think we dealing drugs or something. We on the funeral buying stuff. Nah, but I just
trunk open there.
Yeah, I just got excited about it. One, because because we go back a long way, but two, just that it's such a positive thing. Yeah. And I like the name Finale, man, because it's like that's it. Hey. That's it, man. That's it.
It's not a clothing line, right? It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, that's it. And I'm thinking like that's pretty cool, man. Yeah, so I think those things attract me. But yeah, Fred, I know you probably working, man. Yo, get your shirt, man. We gonna hold you to it, man.
Yeah. I'm definitely, I'm definitely.
Call all you out, Keystone, Fred, all you guys, man. All you guys, buy shirts. Yeah. I know how to reach y'all. Tommy Franklin, I gotta keep going. Anthony Franklin, Mike Franklin, I gotta keep going down the list. Buy shirts.
It ain't just shirts, you know what I mean? Buy a hoodie, buy a sweatsuit,
anything,
you know what I mean?
Anything.
Right. Just to support, like I said, man, I appreciate you, sons, man, you know what I mean, for the support, you know what I mean, having me here, you know what I mean, and talking about the clothing line. Because, like I said, we don't get a lot of support like that.
And I mean, the purpose of the show is to highlight and spotlight the people in our community doing positive, dope things, man. And like again, we want to support, love to support. That's why.
And this is their show. They came up with the concept.
Oh,
this is their show. This is their show. They just and I was really
just came in and took over.
I'm the only one who know how to work the board. I'm the only one who know how to work the board.
That's his usual.
He likes to talk. We just let him talk.
Come on, man, you painting a bad picture.
No. But like I wanted, he's the patriarch of our family, so like he hold it down. I wanted it to be a father-son thing where it's just like we having conversations with our dad and
he drops gems
and friends. Yeah, like we still learning from him, like in this show. But again, purpose of it was to kind of bring people together and just spotlight and highlight all the positive things that are going on. I feel like in this social media era, people get caught up seeing all these bad, terrible images of our community. And it's not the case. It's not the case, especially when I see it and I live it and meeting you and through my father, knowing my father's friends and people that he's grown up with that may have troubled pasts, but that doesn't define them. No. These aren't who these people are. And same thing in my age group right now, sometimes you see or hear things that are going on, but that's not the norm. Like we are, I feel like, above average. So just wanted to continue to bring people in like you, man, and just
for being a good dad, man.
Yeah,
I love the way you interact with your son, man, because that's another image that we don't see enough of.
You know how long
Yeah, I know, but you know what? People always talk about the other side. People always talk about the dads who don't take care of their kids, the ones who got this stuff followed, who don't have time, and you hear it all the time. Whenever they start, because I do a lot of stuff in fatherhood. Whenever they get into statistics in fatherhood, they always get into our neighborhood. They 8 out of 10, and I'm like, no, why can they make guys who do take care of their kids?
Exactly.
Yeah, but I think they always highlight the other side. So I know you probably don't think it's a big deal, but I do. When I see guys take that interest in their kids, man, and and allow them to be individuals. Not you want to be basketball players. I play basketball.
Right.
Just the time you spend with them, and because I did the same thing, the sacrifice you made, man, and because you can't say we learned it from our parents because our parents didn't have the time.
Right, and that's what I was giving.
Yeah, they were always working.
I was just getting ready to say that. I said
Yeah.
the blessing of it was
Yeah.
is when my son came along. When he turned 1, I was able to retire.
Yeah.
So that means I had a lot of free time to spend with him and do a lot of things, like you said, that our pops and stuff couldn't do because they worked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
And it's not they didn't want to; they just worked.
right. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, your mom or
Yeah.
somebody else, they'll go.
Man, we cheered each other on, man.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Each other games, like
Exactly,
yeah.
yeah.
That's how it's supposed to be done.
Ridicule each other.
Yeah.
Man, you ain't catch that?
Yeah.
Well, he took that, man. He just scored on you, man.
You're like, oh, I can't make a mistake.
Yeah, but just thanks for coming, man.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome anytime, man. We can support you, man. I'll continue to give you plugs on here.
I appreciate it.
We'll continue to give those plugs, man, and just keep us posted, man. Keep us abreast of what's going on, man.
I'm definitely gonna grab something
I'm in.
wearing on here.
I'm in, man. I wear my stuff, man.
Yeah.
You know me, I wear my stuff.
Season's coming,
Season
man.
jackets, like I'm gonna
That's coming. That's
Yeah.
coming. Like I said, we try to, as the season changes,
just try to be ahead.
yeah, we trying to be ahead. Like I said, I'm working on another one, just trying to get a design on it. It's you know how they used to wear all white, T-shirt,
Yeah.
came in a long
Yeah,
sleeve.
yeah.
So I'm working on style for them. I'm not sure how I want the finale to
But
go.
you gotta put the slogan on something, man.
Huh?
Slogan.
Oh, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah, because I think that's catchy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying pulling everything, but you put on
Right,
something,
right.
man, so people associate that with you. When they hear that, man, this is finale, man. Because pretty soon somebody's gonna be saying it. That's just the nature of the beast, man. It is. I don't know how it gets whispered down the lane, and then you gonna turn the TV on one day. Somebody gonna say it's a lifestyle. Like it's funny because
Finale.
the thing with my nonprofit is FamCom is do better to be better. When it first came, everybody talked about that's not proper English. It's not proper English. Now I hear everybody on TV saying, "Yeah, we gotta do better." Well, I thought it wasn't proper English.
You should hear the sportscasters. They be saying all types of
Oh,
crazy
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. So I just think it's funny how and I know they didn't see, but you hear stuff and it gets around. But somebody say, "Yo, that's your slogan." So people do pick up on that stuff, man. But closing thoughts, man. You guys want to share?
Do you have a
Anybody?
closing statement, thought? Anybody have it first?
Well, appreciate y'all brothers
Always
having
welcome,
me
man,
here,
bro.
man. And again, for supporting the clothing line. Again, I wish my partner Dak was here. Definitely got to get that.
We get the sauce, man, next time.
Yeah, we
man.
definitely got to get the
man.
sauce up there to y'all. But
They're like junior chefs.
Yeah, I was
over
about to say,
here, man.
I'm
Yeah.
cooking all the time.
I mean,
so.
this thing that y'all have going on is a blessing, man. You know what I mean? And to touch so many people and to, let people put their stuff out and get seen and recognized, you know what I mean? Salute y'all for that, man. Definitely.
Thank you, bro. Means a lot, man. Means a lot, man.
Well, I mean, for me, I already kind of referenced and said it, man. The purpose of this show is to kind of highlight and spotlight people in our community. It's not even necessarily just about us and like who we know. So if y'all know anybody that you feel like
You got somebody who wants
needs
to put on,
love
man.
and appreciation, like send them our way. Like again, this is about all of us. So it doesn't matter what they do. They gotta, as long as it's something positive and they got potential to inspire others in their community. Where it doesn't have to be a professional athlete, professional this or that. It could be somebody behind the scenes. So again, just keep that in mind. Send people our way, and we just gonna continue to show love and spread positivity.
Yep, I just want to say peace, love, respect.
They come down me.
They clown me because they think I'm always positive. But,
Soul train, dude.
that's just how I like to live. Again, just happy to be here. Make the most of today and tomorrow.
Yo, we gotta connect because I'm gonna put your link on my website.
Okay.
One thing I'm trying to do is and this is their idea. We want to create a network. We don't want it to be a flash in the pan, Kev on here, and then see you later, Kev.
Right.
6 months. I want to create a network. of people. So hey, I'm looking for the show. Get off this person.
Okay.
But I got people I know and trust, because I can't be sending them to some
They
crazy
don't show up.
stuff.
Yeah,
But
right.
Raise boom.
so what I'm gonna do is yeah. So what I'm gonna do is, because my page is familiescommunity.com, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna add part of it's gonna be like, I got Spiritual Connect Radio on there, so I'm gonna start adding other links to it.
Okay.
That affiliated with the organization. I told you when I have my event, it's gonna be in January. I'm gonna be doing some at Cabrini. I take 125 kids out Cabrini. Didn't do it last year because of the pandemic, but I'm scheduled to do it in January if we don't repeat course. I take 125 young men out there, man. So you can definitely set up a table, man.
Oh, for sure.
Come
Let me
on,
know.
man. And from Norristown, Philadelphia, man. Yeah, I take a bunch of kids out, and it's free. They get a T-shirt. They get breakfast. They get lunch, man. We had about 15 dudes just came out and hung out last year, and that was the most powerful part about it, because the kids never saw 15 black men in the room before. They were blown away that you got 15 black men. That's all everybody talked about for weeks later. Like, where'd you get those guys from? And they were from all walks of life. Isaac Jackson was, he came out. Was a Strawberry Mansion. So I'm gonna do it again, man. So I definitely let you know.